Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
6 EFF members have been suspended from any activity in Parliament for the entire month of February. This for the protest that they had on the State of Nation address in 2023. These EFF members have been punished for protesting against the president of the country in Parliament. Let's quickly refresh our minds on how that went down.
Apart from being barred from attending this year's SONA, what other sanction do you know of that has been meted out against you?
Thanks, Xoli. So some of the sanctions which have been imposed upon us by Parties and Powers and Privileges Committee are that we are not allowed to participate in any parliamentary activity, be it at a committee level or Parliament itself, from the 1st to the 28th of February, if I'm not mistaken, for the month of February, which means that the democratic will of our people who chose to elect certain members of the EFF into Parliament who have now been suspended is forthrightly undermined. You'll be happy to know they'll also be docking our salaries for the month of February, I'm sure, as part of that. So it's almost a triple jeopardy. And what is most intentful and purposeful on their side is that they have ensured that they chose February in particular as a month in which to bar these members of the EFF from Parliament, because they know that this will be Cyril Ramaphosa's final State of the Nation address before he's democratically removed as the president of South Africa. So they want it to be without scrutiny. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that Parliament has been turned into a weapon in defense of Ramaphosa.
Well, let's understand why you find yourselves here. During the disciplinary hearings in December, the Secretary of Parliament testified there, stating clearly that the disregard for the rules of the House is what has landed the EFF MPs to the position you find yourselves today. Have you reflected on what needs to change about your approach in Parliament?
Absolutely nothing. And the employee of the very institution that is now villainizing the EFF for holding Cyril Ramaphosa accountable can't be viewed as a credible source as to what is correct and incorrect. He has to stand by his institution's sort of mandate to villainize the EFF members of Parliament. Our reflection is that we were correct to peacefully protest in holding Cyril Ramaphosa accountable, first and foremost for his crimes at and in relation to Phala Phala Farm, but secondly for the complete collapse of South African society under his leadership, the increase in crime, the increase in unemployment, the high gender-based violence statistics, the collapse of state-owned entities and general infrastructure in South Africa, and the collapse of our economy. That is what we were raising there, and what we regard as the highest form or platform for protest, which is Parliament. Our people sent us there to hold the executive accountable, and that is exactly what we were doing. The mischaracterization of this peaceful protest, or these attempts to ensure Ramaphosa answers or speaks directly to his failures and his criminal activities as storming the stage, as disruption, as breaching of the rules, is deliberate mischaracterization to avoid holding Ramaphosa accountable, which we reject in its entirety.
Peace in Pan Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I am your host, Kagiso Hlongwane, King 053, Mr. Easy Imadi. And we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, we go to Parliament for the suspension of the 6 EFF members from Parliament activities in the entire 2024 February, excuse me. Those members are as follows. Sinao Temba, Julius Malema, the president, and the deputy president, Floyd Shimbambo, Mwiseni Ndlozi, and Vuyane Pambo, and Marshall Dlamini. Those are the 6 members that has been suspended. Only men that was suspended from the entire chaos that happened that day in Parliament. And now it has been said that this is the last kick of the dying horse when we speak about the ANC. The ANC using its majority. Remember, the ANC will always be the majority in any committee, any committee in Parliament. Now, for those who don't know, when you are elected as a member of Parliament, you are then divided into subcommittees where you play a role in legislature, in making some findings, all of that. That's how Parliament people are employed in parliamentarians are employed in Parliament. So most of them will be in this committee. So in the Power and Privilege Committee, obviously you'll find the majority of the people, the two parties, meaning the ANC and the opposition, and forming other party members just to balance the equation. But it does not really balance because the ANC will always be the majority in any committee. So if the ANC feels they don't want to vote against something, it is almost impossible to eliminate their 200 and something seats compared to the rest of the country. You understand? To the rest of the opposition parties. So they have used their majority, just like they have used their majority in the Nkandla issue. They have used their majority in the state capture issues. They have used their majority in the Phala Phala issue. They have used their majority in the public protector issue. ANC will always have the majority when we come to parliament committees. So they have used their majority again in the Power of Privilege Committee to suspend 6 ANC and EFF MPs in the month of the SONA. Why did it take them 1 year? I mean, 1 full year to suspend these members and take action against them. Understand? If we say, okay, what they did there was a little bit rough and whatever, why did it take 1 year for you to take action? But the problem is, you have taken action on only 6 members of the EFF, and you have specifically chosen the big dogs of the EFF. But the problem is the EFF, all of them, their heads are not okay. When they stand for something, they stand for something to die. So we can be assured 100% that the remaining members of the EFF are still going to cause chaos in the SONA that will be given by Cyril Ramaphosa. He's not going to have it easy. They're gonna get kicked out again, and it's gonna be destructive. And because the EFF strongly believes that the president broke his oath in Parliament as a president when he did not report the crime, when he lied about Phala Phala. Let's just say that and not say a lot of things. Let's quickly listen to what Julius Malema said last year, immediately after they got kicked out in Parliament.
And the protest, which is peaceful in South Africa, is protected by the Constitution and cannot be a threat to Parliament. So all of that must be taken to court to be challenged. The media was harassed today. They are the ones who are complaining to us. They were not allowed to move. There were certain sections which were demarcated to them. When the commotion came, media has got a responsibility to cover that commotion and report to the country and the world. They were denied. We only see that under dictatorship. So this country has degenerated to dictatorship, and for the protection of one man, the executive is collapsed, the legislature is collapsed, the judiciary has collapsed. When a speaker enters Parliament unprovoked, instead of following the agenda of Parliament, she reads the rules to intimidate members of Parliament. You can see that she came with a predetermined agenda to intimidate members of Parliament. Every evidence is before us and the whole of South Africa. We must never be ashamed of protesting. What happened there the worst could have happened, but we'll never retreat even when the worst happened, because we are a protest movement. And our responsibility is to raise the dissatisfaction of our people. And we
2024 is going to be a very interesting national election period. Like we all know in this channel, the ANC will always use their majority. Let's try to improve that right there. Okay. The ANC will always use their majority and their court power to disturb the opposition parties. Have you noticed that the ANC is not worried about the DA? Have you heard the ANC say anything about the DA? They are not worried about the DA. The ANC is concerned only about Umkhonto weSizwe and the EFF, because they are scared if those two parties, one can get over 25% and the other one can get close to 25%, those people can merge in a collusion that can kick out the ANC out of government. They're so scared of those two parties. That is why it is only these two parties that they are taking to court. Only those two parties. They're going to take Umkhonto weSizwe to court for the trademark. They're going to take Jacob Zuma for other for other issues in the 28 million that he must pay back when he was president, his legal fees that he must pay back. 28 million, I think it's 32 million now. They've revised it to 32 million. They're going to take Julius Malema to court for the the firearm case. That thing is over 5 years now that they've been postponing up to the elections. You're gonna see it's gonna disturb the EFF. They're gonna disturb Umkhonto weSizwe. They're gonna try to make Umkhonto weSizwe an eligible to run for elections on the 2020. They're gonna try by all means to kick these people out. And if they do that, oh my God, it's gonna be a problem. It's not gonna turn out nice if they try to make Umkhonto weSizwe eligible to run for the elections. It's gonna turn bloody, to say the least. So this is what the ANC does. How can we not question the timing? Why did you? I mean, it's been 12 months later that this thing happened. 12 months later, you wanna tell me right now is the correct time? So because President Cyril Ramaphosa wants to deliver a SONA, unchallenged SONA, people must be silent when he speak. Now he's suspending 6 EFF Parliament members from Parliament for the entire year, even taking their salary for the entire month. For the entire month. It's wrong. You guys go in the comment section and tell me what you think. I'm tired of these people. All I want to do is build Baseta, the Pan African School of Economics, Technology, and Agriculture. That's the only thing that's keeping me awake at night. I'm sick and tired of this politics. Let's build our school. Let's show these people that we are not just Pan Africanists that talk, but we are Pan Africanists that can act also. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning in, guys. Thank you for the sponsors and for ACE Championship. They're having an event next week on the 10th of February. Watch this.
In a celebration of mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the ACE Fighting Championship brings you a thrilling event on the 10th of February in Johannesburg, South Africa. Experience the intensity live at the EFC Performance Institute. Secure your tickets now on Howler and Ace Tickets for an unforgettable night of combat sports excellence.
Really got a much land that one.
These guys, they will definitely be a knockout.
Yeah, guys, just look at the kick.
Oh, Given.
Comes in with the elbow.
Given just throwing those.
Think.
Given. Double clean.
him. Here we go.
But he's
Comfortable, looking for the finish there. Finish of the takedown, that being 3 and on 3.
He also has a background of judo.
It's over. Pity stepping to the groin. Like he hit the thigh. That one was
You
too.
can't quite see the one that
It's going to make a difference.
The new MMA welterweight champion, Ryan